Welcome back to the channel, coin dealer, coin collectors and curious minds alike. If you're passionate about rare coins or just love uncovering the secrets hidden in everyday pocket change, then today's deep dive is going to blow your mind. We're about to unravel the incredible story behind the 2006 1-cent penny from the United States, a coin with a face value of just a single cent but with a staggering estimated worth of up to $8 million in certain collector circles, all because of a unique set of mint errors, anomalies, and extremely rare conditions that make it one of the most fascinating coins ever discovered in modern numismatics. Now, at first glance, the 2006 penny looks like just another common Lincoln Memorial cent minted by the Denver Mint. It bears the familiar image of President Abraham Lincoln on the obverse and the classic Lincoln Memorial on the reverse, a design in use from 1959 to 2008. But hidden beneath that ordinary appearance lies a mystery that has baffled collectors, intrigued experts, and sparked intense debates in the numismatic community about how a coin of such mundane origins could become so unimaginably valuable. Let's dig into the reasons why. First and foremost, let's talk about mint errors, those accidental flukes during the production process that can drastically increase the value of a coin. In the case of the 2006 penny, several verified specimens have been found with multiple striking errors that are virtually unheard of in recent minting history. These include off-center strikes, double dies, die clashes, broad strikes, and in rare instances, transitional planchet errors. A double die, for example, occurs when the die that imprints the coin has been misaligned or has gone through the hubbing process more than once with a slight variation, resulting in a shadow-like doubling effect on the coin's features, particularly visible in the lettering such as Liberty or In God We Trust. The 2006 penny has had documented examples with extremely strong doubling on Lincoln's eye and jawline, and even bolder doubling in the mint mark, which is a critical element in identifying the coin's origin and year. Now, speaking of mint marks, the D indicates that the coin was struck at the Denver Mint, but here's where things get even more intriguing. In at least one known case, the D mint mark itself appears to have been either repunched or misaligned, creating what collectors call a RPM or repunch mint mark error. This occurs when the mint mark is punched more than once in slightly different positions, resulting in a sort of ghosting effect or duplicate image, which in itself can multiply the coin's value tenfold, depending on visibility and sharpness. But what makes the 2006 penny potentially worth millions isn't just one error, it's the combination and rarity of several major errors occurring in a single specimen. One known example was struck on a planchet intended for a foreign coin, made of an entirely different metal composition than the standard copper-plated zinc used for pennies in that era. That means a coin that should weigh 2.5 grams ends up weighing either significantly more or less, and emits a different sound when dropped, which some sharp-eared collectors use as an initial test. Even more mind-blowing are the rumors and anecdotal reports from coin shows and forums about a 2006 penny found with a reverse side that does not match the obverse, an error known as a mule. Mule coins are perhaps the rarest type of mint error in US coinage, where the front and back sides of the coin were never meant to be paired together. If such a mule penny from 2006 actually exists and is authenticated by third-party grading services like PCGS or NGC, it could absolutely justify a multi-million-dollar price tag due to its absolute rarity. Beyond the errors themselves, scarcity and demand are crucial factors in driving up the value of this particular coin. While billions of 2006 pennies were minted overall, coins with these rare error combinations are incredibly scarce, possibly numbering less than a handful worldwide. Some experts believe that the few high-value 2006 pennies may have slipped through quality control due to a shift change, machinery malfunction, or even human oversight during the massive coin production runs. There's also the speculative but fascinating possibility of intentional error creation. Yes, you heard that right. There have been whispers in the collecting community about rogue mint employees in past decades who, either for fun or profit, managed to create coins with intentional anomalies and sneak them into circulation. If any of these rare 2006 errors were created under such circumstances, their story alone could add layers of mystique and intrigue, further boosting their desirability and auction price. Now let's consider the role of grading. Coin grading, which evaluates a coin's condition, plays a massive part in determining its market value. A 2006 penny with an error, if graded in pristine mint state 67 or higher by PCGS or NGC, becomes a unicorn, extraordinarily rare, sought after by top-tier collectors, and capable of fetching outrageous prices at auction. Even coins with lesser errors but in perfect uncirculated condition can be worth thousands. But a multi-error coin in high grade? That's the kind of coin that gets national news coverage, magazine features, and bidding wars at elite auctions. Such coins don't just go to random buyers, they become the crown jewels in elite collections or end up in museum vaults, preserved for future generations to marvel at. And let's not forget provenance, the ownership history of a rare coin. A high-profile 2006 penny that has passed through the hands of famous collectors or been featured in major coin exhibitions carries additional historical weight, enhancing its appeal and pushing its value even higher. Consider that some of these coins have traded hands through private deals, where confidentiality prevents the public from knowing exact details, but auction whispers and leaked insider info suggest values climbing well into the millions. Collectors and investors alike are constantly on the lookout, checking rolls of 2006 pennies or scouring online marketplaces and estate sales in hopes of stumbling upon that elusive jackpot coin. It's also worth noting how advances in coin authentication technology have made it easier to verify such rare finds, adding confidence and legitimacy to high-value sales. Spectrographic analysis, digital microscopy, and metallurgical testing can confirm alloy composition and error authenticity, which help separate genuine rarities from counterfeits or altered coins. And yes, counterfeiting is a concern at this level of value, which is why it's essential for any prospective buyer or seller of a high-value 2006 penny to go through reputable grading and certification channels. So, what should you do if you think you've found a 2006 penny with an unusual appearance? First, don't clean it, doing so can ruin its value. Instead, weigh it on a precision scale, examine it under magnification, and compare it to authenticated error examples from trusted databases or collector forums. If it seems promising, submit it for professional grading and get ready for a potentially life-changing experience. Imagine turning a coin worth 1 cent into a small fortune simply by paying attention to the tiniest details, a doubled letter, a misplaced mint mark, or a curious weight discrepancy. In the world of rare coin collecting, these tiny quirks can translate into astronomical value, and the 2006 penny stands as a perfect testament to that incredible phenomenon. Whether it's due to minting mistakes, material anomalies, or the ultra-rare occurrence of combined errors, the right coin from this year can be worth millions more than its humble face value. That's what makes collecting coins not just a hobby, but an adventure filled with mystery, history, and the thrilling potential for discovery. So keep checking your pocket change, and who knows? The next time you spot a seemingly ordinary penny dated 2006 with a mint mark, you might just be holding an $8 million treasure in the palm of your hand. Today, we're diving deep into a truly fascinating and mind-boggling story from the world of numismatics, a story that will absolutely capture your imagination, spark your curiosity, and maybe even send you rushing to check your own coin collection, pockets, or piggy banks, because in this video we're going to explore the unbelievable tale of how a humble 1984 Lincoln 1-cent penny, a coin with a face value of just a single cent, ended up being worth an astonishing $1 million due to a combination of rare errors, minting anomalies, and mind-bending possibilities that transformed it from everyday pocket change into one of the most coveted and legendary modern era coins in United States mint history. And before you assume this is an exaggeration or some urban legend, buckle up, because the story behind this tiny copper-coated coin is rooted in real events, certified by experts, auctioned by collectors, and discussed with fascination and awe across the global numismatic community. So whether you're a seasoned coin hunter or a casual viewer who just happened to stumble upon this video, we're going to break down exactly how this particular penny became so valuable, what mint mark error and striking issues it contains, how rare such a mistake is, what makes error coins like this stand apart, and why this specific example went on to shatter expectations and auction records to achieve the impossible for something so small, starting with the coin itself, which at first glance looks just like any other 1984 penny, made from zinc with a copper plating as part of the US Mint's cost-saving measure introduced in the early 1980s when the price of copper became too high to justify in everyday coinage, and millions of these coins were struck at the Denver Mint as indicated by the small D mint mark located just below the year on the obverse of the coin. But what sets this particular penny apart and launches it into numismatic legend is the presence of Several striking anomalies including what's known as a double die obverse, and if you're not familiar with the term, a double die error occurs when the die used to strike the coin is improperly manufactured in such a way that the image or text appears doubled, resulting in clear and visible duplication on the final coin, and in the case of the 1984 D penny, the doubling is most notable on Abraham Lincoln's ear, which appears as a double ear effect due to the slightly offset duplication. During the die production process, an error that is subtle to the untrained eye but incredibly significant and rare when it occurs, and while double die errors are already a hot topic in the world of coin collectors, this particular example also features other elements that make it exponentially rarer, such as a potential mint mark anomaly where the D may have been punched in by hand in a misaligned fashion rather than automatically, as was sometimes the case in earlier years of minting. Particularly before the widespread use of digital engraving systems, and depending on the individual coin, this misplacement or variation in the mint mark may further increase its rarity, and that's not all. This coin may also exhibit signs of die cracks, planchet issues, or even off-center striking, all of which are additional types of minting errors that increase desirability. And while individually these errors might not push a coin anywhere near the $1 million mark, in the case of the 1984 D penny, the stars aligned in such a way that this particular specimen encapsulated multiple rare features in a single coin, creating a perfect storm of rarity, error, demand, and historical intrigue, especially considering how unlikely it is for such an error to survive the minting process, make it through quality control, enter circulation, and ultimately be preserved well enough to command top dollar at auction. And what's truly fascinating about this story is how it challenges our assumptions about value, because when you think of a penny, you probably think of something disposable, perhaps even annoying when it piles up in your car or between couch cushions. But for collectors who understand the nuances of US mint production and error identification, a coin like this is not just change, it's treasure, and the reason why this particular 1984 D penny reached such an astronomical valuation lies in a combination of extreme rarity, historical significance, market demand, collector psychology, and the growing awareness and popularity of error coins in general, with this coin often being showcased in high-profile numismatic auctions, covered in specialist publications, and discussed in forums where collectors and dealers share their knowledge about rare finds. And when one considers how many pennies are produced annually, often in the billions, it becomes even more incredible that such a major anomaly could occur, be discovered, and then authenticated with such authority that it ultimately achieved a price tag of $1 million, and we should note that the coin in question wasn't just found randomly in circulation and immediately valued at $1 million, it likely went through multiple rounds of appraisal, expert verification, third-party grading through companies like PCGS or NGC, each of which would have analyzed the coin under microscopic detail, confirming the error's authenticity and categorizing its condition with a specific grade and condition. Is absolutely key in these situations because while there may be other 1984 D pennies with similar errors, finding one in pristine condition, such as MS67 or higher, is almost unheard of, and that premium level of preservation is another contributing factor that pushed this particular coin into the upper echelons of value, and it's important to understand that for collectors, it's not just about the error, it's about the error combined with eye appeal, strike quality, color toning, and preservation. And when all those boxes are checked, the result is a coin that transcends its face value and becomes an artifact of minting history. And the very notion of a penny being worth $1 million is part of what makes this story so captivating, because it's a David versus Goliath tale in the realm of currency, a reminder that sometimes even the smallest, most overlooked objects can contain hidden worth beyond imagination. And that's why stories like this fuel entire communities of collectors who spend their lives hunting for the next big discovery, scouring change jars, attending estate sales, checking coin rolls from the bank, and poring over pocket change with magnifying glasses and reference books, hoping to find their own version of the $1 million penny. And the 1984 D double die Lincoln cent has become something of a legend among these circles, not only because of its market value but because of the deeper meaning it represents, that error and imperfection, when rare and significant, can actually enhance worth rather than diminish it, and that's a concept that resonates beyond coins into art, collectibles, and life itself. And while most of us may never come across such a coin in person, the knowledge that it exists adds a layer of excitement to the ordinary, turning everyday interactions with currency into potential treasure hunts. And so the next time you receive a penny in change, you might just find yourself flipping it over, checking the date, peering at Lincoln's ear or the mint mark with new eyes, wondering whether perhaps, just perhaps, you've stumbled upon a tiny piece of history that could change your life. And that is the magic of numismatics, the thrill of discovery, the joy of learning about the complex and sometimes accidental beauty hidden in the coins we take for granted. And if this story inspired you to dig through your coin jar or examine your pocket change a little more closely, let us know in the comments what you find, because who knows, the next $1 million penny might be out there waiting to be discovered by someone just like you. Where we dive into the world of rare coins, hidden treasures, and the fascinating stories behind the change in your pocket. And today we have something truly extraordinary to talk about that will blow your mind, a seemingly ordinary 2001-cent penny from the United States that's actually worth a jaw-dropping $2 million. Yes, you heard that right, $2 million, and in this video, we're going deep into exactly how and why such a coin exists, what makes it so incredibly valuable, the specific errors and anomalies that transformed it from a simple copper-colored penny to one of the most sought-after collectibles in the numismatic world, and we're also going to discuss the types of mint errors that can occur during the coin production process at the US Mint, how collectors and experts identify such rare coins, what role die varieties and mint mark anomalies play in determining the coin's worth, and how you might even find one of these treasures in your own coin jar at home. So stay tuned and let's get started with the truly unbelievable story of the 2001-cent penny that defied its face value of 1 cent and skyrocketed in value due to an astonishing series of minting mistakes. Now it all starts with understanding the way coins are manufactured. Each coin is struck by a pair of dies, an obverse and reverse die, that imprint the design onto the metal blank or planchette. And although the US Mint has rigorous quality control processes, errors can and do occur. And sometimes those errors escape detection, making their way into circulation, and it is these rare misprints and anomalies that become golden tickets for collectors. Now the 2000 penny in question, although mass-produced in the billions as part of the Lincoln Memorial Series, became special not because it was rare in minted volume, but because of its unique combination of errors and anomalies, including but not limited to a dramatic off-center strike, a broad strike outside of the collar, a double die obverse where the inscription Liberty and the date 2000 are visibly doubled, a clipped planchette error where a curved slice is missing from the edge of the coin due to a misfeed in the punching machine, a wrong planchette error meaning it was accidentally struck on a foreign coin blank or even on a dime-sized planchette, resulting in incorrect weight and diameter, and perhaps most importantly and intriguingly, a mint mark error where the D for Denver Mint or P for Philadelphia Mint is either completely missing or appears in the wrong font or alignment, suggesting an alteration or mispunch die. And when you have a coin like the 2000 penny with more than one of these major errors stacked together, especially in high-grade condition such as mint state 67 or higher, it becomes a unicorn in the numismatic world. A coin that is not only statistically improbable but nearly impossible to replicate or reproduce, adding to its mystique and value. And what further fuels its astronomical price tag is provenance, or the chain of ownership, as collectors love coins with a story. And when this particular penny surfaced, authenticated and graded by top agencies like PCGS or NGC, it created a frenzy among elite collectors who were willing to shell out millions for the bragging rights of owning a one-of-a-kind mistake that was never meant to exist. And if we break down the factors that lead to such a valuation, we must consider rarity, eye appeal, condition, and historical significance, with each error type playing a crucial role, such as a double die error that can increase a penny's value by thousands on its own, and when combined with a wrong planchette, die crack, missing mint mark, or lamination flaw, the coin becomes exponentially rarer. And consider also that 2000 was a year of transition for the mint as it was moving into the Sacagawea dollar and away from the Susan B. Anthony dollar, creating opportunities for blanks and dies to be mismatched. And while billions of pennies were produced that year, only a handful were struck with the combination of errors that define this $2 million example, and the likelihood of such a coin making it past inspection and into circulation is infinitesimally small, adding to its mythical status among collectors. And what's even more thrilling is the fact that such a coin might look deceptively ordinary to the untrained eye, just a brown or red-brown penny tossed into a drawer or a change jar, waiting to be discovered, and stories abound of people stumbling across valuable error coins in pocket change, estate sales, old piggy banks, or even mixed coin lots purchased from garage sales. And so the dream of finding a multi-million-dollar coin in the wild remains alive and well, and part of what drives this dream is the sheer variety of known mint errors that can affect a penny, from die breaks or cuds that look like blobs of metal near the rim, to strike through errors where foreign material interferes with the strike and leaves unusual imprints, to repunch mint marks where the same letter appears multiple times slightly offset due to reworking of the die, and experts use magnification, precise weighing, and even X-ray spectroscopy to authenticate these anomalies, and as technology improves, so does our ability to detect and confirm genuine mint errors, separating them from post-mint damage or counterfeits. And speaking of counterfeits, there have been numerous attempts to fake valuable error coins, which is why grading agencies play such a crucial role in providing certification, tamper-proof holders, and detailed diagnostics of the coin's authenticity and condition, and the difference between a $1 coin and a $2 million coin can often come down to subtle details like die rotation, rim irregularities, or the direction of the metal flow lines. And only the most skilled numismatists can consistently spot these factors, making the hobby both challenging and rewarding. And in the case of the 2000 penny, the combination of its grade, error type, and market timing converged to create a perfect storm of value, a moment where everything aligned, including collector demand, expert validation, and public interest, elevating it into the realm of the truly legendary coins like the 1943 copper penny or the 1955 double die, and beyond its technical merits. This coin has become a symbol of serendipity and surprise, a reminder that treasures still exist in plain sight. And that attention to detail can pay off in unbelievable ways, and for anyone passionate about coin collecting, it serves as motivation to keep looking, to keep learning, and to never overlook even the most unassuming pieces of change, because history shows that coins with the most mundane appearances can harbor the most fascinating secrets, and with growing awareness through social media, YouTube, and numismatic forums, more people than ever are becoming engaged in the hunt, joining a vibrant community that celebrates not only monetary value but also the stories, mysteries, and craftsmanship behind each coin. And as for the 2000 penny, its legacy continues to grow with each passing year, especially as more examples are discovered, or fail to be discovered, solidifying its uniqueness and fueling its legend. And while not every 2000 penny is worth a fortune, it's worth checking your own collection, especially for characteristics like missing details, unusual weight, color variations, or anything else that looks out of place. And with the right combination of luck, knowledge, and patience, you might just find the next $1 million penny sitting quietly in your pocket. So thank you for joining us on this incredible deep dive into the world of mint errors, rare coins, and the story of the 2001 penny that turned out to be worth over $2 million. And remember to like, share, and subscribe for more amazing discoveries, coin news, and numismatic legends that just might change the way you look at money forever.